It soon became apparent that small objects on the deck could also betray the ship to radar. Ladders, pipes, light fixtures, even round lifeline stanchions were redesigned to fight off enemy detection.
As a radar beam approaches, due to the different angles that we have on this stanchion, as it hits, it bounces off in either direction or above. It's not reflected back to the source. This drastically reduces the radar cross-section of the stanchions. Oftentimes, it's the smallest things that make the largest difference. In the case of a circular dogging wrench, and a dogging wrench is typically used to gain leverage on a door, as I'm demonstrating here. But these dogging wrenches on all previous ships have been round, and we found are very large reflectors of radar energy. On this particular ship, you can see that they're angled to scatter the radar energy so they won't be a reflector. If you'll follow me up to the next deck. As we're going up this ladder, I'd like to point out to you that there's also some design features for all topside ladders. If you'll notice on the deck treads, there's no 90-degree angles. The supports are canted outward at a little bit larger than 90-degree angles. Also, the handrails employ the same type of diamond design to reduce the radar cross-section.
Even something as small as the bits used to tie up the ship to the pier can become dangerous reflectors of radar energy.
For hundreds of years, bits have been cylinders, straight up and down out of the deck. We've redesigned these bits to have an hourglass shape, more favorable to achieve the stealth targets we are aiming at on this ship.
But for all the attention to minor details, the toughest stealth challenges remained the big structures on the ship. Prior to the Burke-class destroyer, ships' masts were built of large round pipes or columns, perfect reflectors for a radar searching for a target to home in on.
This is the main mast for the DDG-51. This is the main mast trunk. A traditional mast is designed and built with cylinders or tubes that are pretty much vertical. We needed to eliminate those on the DDG, so we went after something that was non-traditional. This flat side looks like it caused a problem, but when we put it on the ship, we actually tip it. And once it's tipped, now I have a flat side that sends the energy away from a radar receiver. Let's go take a look at what the finished product looks like. Here then is our finished product. Over in the yard, we saw the pieces laying on the ground. Now you see them erected as a radically different mast than we saw on any other ship in the past. We've got the square tube in the center. It's shaped, it's tipped back, so now it looks just like the kind of shapes that we want to take to sea for radar control.
We're very proud of the ship that's been constructed. It represents the best of American ingenuity. It's designed to take its crew into battle, defeat the enemy, and bring our sailors home safely.
But for all their advances, the Burke-class destroyers are just a preview of what's to come. The future promises radically new designs that will push the look and performance of fighting ships to a new level of stealth and sophistication. When we return, engineers give us a unique look into the future of stealth ships around the world. Ships that look different, handle different, and fight different, taking warship design where it has never gone before.
Besides their stealth capabilities, the advanced materials used on the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers are also designed to shield the crew from biological or chemical attack. Modern Marvels will return in a moment. We now return to Stealth and Beyond, Sea Stealth on Modern Marvels.
America's Arleigh Burke guided missile destroyers are among the most sophisticated and powerful weapons of war ever created, but they represent only the beginnings of what lies ahead for stealth technology. On the banks of the River Elbe in Hamburg, Germany, the Blohm + Voss shipyard has been creating ships of all kinds for almost 130 years. It was here that the legendary battleship Bismarck was completed in 1940 and sent off to a rendezvous with the British fleet. And it is here that one of the world's stealthiest new ships is being built for the South African Navy, the Mako-class A200 frigate. She is 360 feet long and will drive through the water at just under 30 knots. But to an enemy's radar, she looks like a cod boat. To so dramatically reduce this A200's radar cross-section, the Germans have chosen a radically unique hull design. This new stealth ship is shaped like an X.
A major design principle within the MEKO, Blohm and Voss ships is the reduction of the radar cross-section by the so-called X-shape. The X-shape is a way of tilting the superstructure of the vessel in order to deflect the incoming radiation.
Like the US, German designers are concerned about the infrared signature given off by heat escaping from the exhaust funnels. Infrared sensors can read this heat many miles from the ship. The Germans have solved the problem of hot funnels by eliminating them completely.
As you can see here, we have no funnel. We have guided our exhaust direct underneath the waterline or direct via the stern to cool the exhaust gases with the seawater and get cool infrared and no hot spot.
The Blohm and Voss shipyard, like most in the world, continues to make ships from steel. But just across the Baltic Sea from Germany, the Swedes and Norwegians are pioneering the construction of high-tech ships made from a space-age material that is creating a revolution in stealth design. One of the results is the Swedes' stunning new class of warship called Visby. Named after a Swedish city, this sleek and speedy corvette not only looks different than any other in the world, it is also made differently. Its hull is formed not from steel, but from 2-inch thick carbon fiber panels. Although they look like fiberglass foam insulation used in home construction, these panels are extremely tough, yet very lightweight, and they are proving to rival steel in their resistance to damage.
Composite is built up around the core of rigid foam of PVC. It's stiff, rigid, and doesn't absorb water. On each side of that core we apply laminate. And the laminate is a combination of fibers of glass, and in the Visby case it's carbon fiber.
The carbon fiber laminate is glued onto the foam panels with vacuum pressure. Then the finished panels are cut to size with a high-pressure water jet. Much cooler, much easier than steel. The composite has been used to form the Visby into a stunningly original stealth shape, with angles that can bounce threatening radar signals away from the ship. The exterior of the ship is completely clean. Nothing is allowed topside to betray Visby to an enemy's radar. But Visby's designers are aware that the sensor of the future may not be radar. Visby is powered by water jet propulsion that offers less noise for acoustic weapons to home in on. And special attention has been paid to eliminating heat to avoid infrared detection. The Swedes' success is amazing. Above is an infrared targeting image of a conventional ship. Below is the heat image of Visby, all but invisible.
The whole idea with the stealth philosophy on Visby is to reduce the detection range significantly, in many cases 50% or 70%. That allows the commander to decide if he wants to shoot or hide or wait or go into some other mode of operation.
Another Scandinavian country is also pushing the envelope of stealth design. On a dramatic coastline, cut by narrow fjords and dotted with hundreds of islands, a new class of stealth ship lies waiting to defend Norway. Her name is Skjold, Norwegian for shield, and this seagoing speedster is something special. Skjold is driven by water jets at an incredible speed of over 50 knots. Just like the Swedes' Visby class, she is built of lightweight composite, and her hull and superstructure are also smooth and angled, offering a poor target for enemy radar. Skjold rides over the water on an air-cushioned catamaran hull.
This new ship, compared to a conventional hull, has a lot of advantages. It has much higher speed. It has better seakeeping performances. This ship is hard to detect on a radar. because it's built by stealth principles.
But all of these innovative vessels offer only a hint of what stealthy warships may look like in the future. Work is already underway in the U.S. Navy to create a whole new generation of stealthy vessels. Leading the way will be a revolutionary ship that today is known only as the DDX. DDX will look unlike any other ship ever built. A radically slanting hull will deflect radar. Her decks will be barren of anything that could give away her presence. No sailor will normally be allowed on deck. For most of her crew, life aboard will be like serving in a submarine. Missiles will be dispersed and hidden in the ship's sides. Her mast will be stealthily concealed inside a sleek superstructure. DDX will be propelled by electric motors that give off considerably less noise to betray the new ship's position. The first DDX is expected to join the U.S. fleet in 2013. One of her missions will be to work close to shore to offer gunfire support to land forces. In future planning, Marines will be dropped behind enemy lines with lightning speed. To do this, they will carry less of their own artillery and rely more on the guns of DDX. Guns that are as stealthy as they are devastating. The barrel of the 155mm gun is hidden until it rises to blast 10 shells a minute over 100 miles. Once fired, satellites will guide the shells to their target with an accuracy measured in yards. When finished firing, the barrel again hides from radar detection. DDX will be so highly automated that she will be crewed by as few as 125 sailors, less than half that required by today's ships of her size. The Navy is also developing a close relative of DDX, the Littoral Combat Ship, or LCS. 3 companies are currently competing to design this radically new ship. If built, LCS will engage in anti-submarine patrols, mine countermeasures, and launching and recovering secret special ops teams, such as SEALs. LCS will sail into battle at speeds of up to 50 knots and will be as stealthy as any ship in the world. Both DDX and the Littoral Combat Ship will lead us to a whole new world of stealthy warships. Amphibious landing ships, the ugly ducklings of the old Navy, will feature stealthy-shaped masts and smooth surfaces. SEAL teams will sneak ashore riding in a stealthy underwater delivery vehicle. When their mission is completed, it will carry them back to a mother submarine. It is safe to say that in the Navy of the future, most ships will be dominated by stealth technology.
Shapes will remind you some of spacecraft, perhaps, is the best term. But if you look at airplanes, you get a good idea of where we're going with ships. And for the future, I think you'll see that same sort of transition in the shape of ships.
I'm not sure I can visualize the actual shape of a warship in 100 years' time, but I can tell you some of the things it will be. It'll be submersible. I think that all warships will be capable of going under the surface. I think it'll be fast. I think it will be cost-effective. In other words, it will have a propulsion system which will allow it to stay at sea longer. I think it will have fewer crew.
Ships may become fully automated, sailing across oceans and carrying out their missions with no crew at all. Use of lightweight composites and hull designs, such as catamarans, trimarans, and surface effects, will allow ships to hit speeds of almost 100 knots. Whatever their size or mission, warships will possess new levels of stealth capability that will make them increasingly hard to detect. But as research continues on stealth, so too does research on ways to beat it.
So you've always got this balance of trying to get more stealthy, trying to get better sensors, or exploit another signature. And this has been the nature of warfare. Swords, they develop shields to protect themselves from it. And now it's you build a better missile or a more stealthy ship. The other side is going to look for countermeasures to it.
The dangerous game of cat and mouse will continue as warships search for ways to elude enemy detection with invisibility. And many of the answers will continue to be found in new technology, offering a chance for the greatest of human weapons, the ship at sea, to disappear behind the magic curtain of stealth.